Hello again, everybody. Zach Attack is here with my UFC 141 review for the night for December 30th, 2011. I haven't done a UFC review in a while because I've been missing them because of gigs and all. But overall tonight, the last pay-per-view of 2011, little bit disappointingly. There was two really good fights tonight. The first fight and the co-main event were brilliant fights, but 3 out of the 5 ended in a TKO or knockout in the first round, so that kind of brought down the pay-per-view by a bit. My overall pay-per-view rating was a 6.0 out of 10, not as good as UFC 139. We saw flipping the birds, a retirement, and rumors abuzz after the main event. We'll get to all of that in moments. Let's get started. Our first match, first fight of the evening was probably second best fight of the night, which was Phan taking on Jimy Hettes. This is a very physical fight, back and forth action from both guys. It's a very interesting fight. There was a lot of submission attempts. Jimy Hettes is a submissions guy. He was undefeated, 9-0, and he put a lot of submission attempts on Phan, destroying Phan from the beginning of the fight. Phan tried to maybe come back, but in the end, Jimy Hettes won by a unanimous decision. This was Jimy's 10th win. He is now 10-0. He is undefeated. And he's got an interesting future in the featherweight division. Of course, the featherweight champions, of course, Jose Aldo, who defends at the UFC pay-per-view in Rio in about 2 weeks or so, on January 14th. So I'll give this fight a 3.5 out of 5. Like I said, the second best match of the night, besides the co-main event. And I like Hettes' performance in this. Like I said, it was a mix of punching, it was a mix of stand-up and a mix of submission attempts with Hettes. And it's a very, very grueling, very exciting fight, not boring at all. So, very intense fight to start up the pay-per-view with. Then the next two matches bring pay-per-view down a bit with the first round. Starting with Alexander Gustafsson taking on the janitor, Vladimir Matyushenko. And it was a one-round knockout, TKO, by Alexander. And Alexander, I was surprised he was skinny compared to Vladimir. And he was wearing like these really, really short shorts. They were like really, and it looked like a speedo almost with the trunks. At least wasn't wearing a thong, but still, it was like very, very short blue shorts because he's from Sweden. But I think Alexander put on a terrific performance, but he did TKO him. Nasty punch on Vladimir. Alexander done it in like 3 minutes of the fight. And Alexander's like a happy-go-lucky kid because he was very confident, and he hugged Joe Rogan after the match before his post-match interview. I will give this fight a 2.0 out of 5 because it was very short. It was a very short fight, but it was an okay fight until, like I said, Gustafsson got the victory. Then, our next fight, another first-round knockout, which was in the welterweight division, as Johny Hendricks knocked the shit out of John Fitch in 12 seconds. I'll give this fight a 1.5 because it was 12 seconds. But an impressive knockout by Johny Hendricks. Definitely my pick for knockout of the night. Definitely the best pick of knockout of the night. When it comes to picking fight of the night, especially on the main card, my pick would have to go to the co-main event of the evening, as Nate Diaz took on the Cowboy, Cerrone. Now the emotions of the fight started from the get-go. As they were about to touch gloves, Cerrone flipped off Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz returned the favor at the beginning of the third round, double flipping off Cerrone. They foretold the emotions, and it was totally a fight. There was no submission attempt. This was very much a fight. Back and forth action. Diaz came out and he beat the crap out of Cerrone. And Cerrone tried to do some moves, but it was a very physical fight. Very physical, very grueling fight. Fueled on hate. You can tell the emotions coming out of every punch from both guys. Punches and kicks. Very good stand-up action for both guys. Very impressive fight. Diaz just destroyed Cerrone from the get-go. And I thought Cerrone was going to win this, but Diaz got the victory. Unanimous decision. Like I said, only the second fight out of 5, with the exception of the first fight, Hettes and Phan, that went the distance, that went 3 rounds. I'll give this fight a 3.5 out of 5. Best fight of the night of the main card is Diaz and Cerrone. Great, grueling fight, back and forth action. Diaz, I applaud him. Yeah, Nate Diaz is a cocky little bastard, just like his brother Nick, who will be taking on Carlos Condit in February for the interim title since GSP's injured. A very impressive fight by Diaz. Impressive performance. Beating the crap out of Cerrone. Hope Cerrone gets some more good wins in there. But Diaz may be on his way to a shot against probably whoever wins the Henderson-Edgar match. I think it's in February or March. It's in Japan, I know that. So, there you go. Then on to the big hyped main event. For the heavyweight division, it was Brock Lesnar. First match after losing to Cain Velasquez. He took on Alistair Overeem, making his UFC debut from Strikeforce. People expected a first round knockout. Boy, did they get it. First round knockout, Alistair Overeem knocked the crap out of Lesnar. 2.5 minutes in the first round. Alistair got a win. He is now on a 12-win streak. It was 11 wins. The fight itself was okay. You know, it's like Lesnar tried some moves, but Alistair Overeem got him a TKO. He got like a nasty knee to the gut, a neck kick to the gut, brought Lesnar down. And Alistair punched him a little bit, nailed it in, got the victory over Brock Lesnar. And of course, everyone was questioning what would happen to Brock Lesnar if he lost. Brock Lesnar, after his post-match interview, he declared to the world that he was retiring from the Octagon world. He is retiring from the UFC. He, of course, goes out as a former UFC champion. He promised his wife and kids that he would fight. If he were to lose the fight, he was going to retire. If he would have won, he would have let the title shot he would receive be his last fight. By the way, with that win, Alistair Overeem is in line to get a title shot against the new heavyweight champion, Julio Dos Santos, down the line. We don't know when. We don't know what pay-per-view, but we'll probably find out next couple weeks of when Alistair Overeem and Julio Dos Santos should be. That should be very intense. Striking matchup. They're very good strikers. But when it comes to Lesnar retiring, it's going to spark a lot of rumors about Brock Lesnar returning to the WWE. It's been about rumored about a year. Ever since last year, after Brock Lesnar's loss against Cain Velasquez, Brock Lesnar bumped into The Undertaker. That sparked rumors about a comeback for WrestleMania 27 against Taker. That didn't happen. So now there's been rumors about Lesnar WWE, especially since he was in the WWE game, WWE 12 as a character. It has been like a lot of rumors about him returning. He's leaving it open. So now that he says he's retiring from MMA, it's either going to be A, he's going to retire, period, from fighting anywhere, or he's going to come back to the WWE. Who knows what will happen if he comes back to WWE, especially now with CM Punk ruling and everything. And that'd be kind of weird to see Brock Lesnar back in WWE, especially since CM Punk talked about him in his speeches, being a Paul Heyman guy and all. So we'll see what happens with Brock Lesnar. By the way, 2.0 out of 5 is my rating for Lesnar Overeem. It didn't live up to the hype. And it's so weird that I've never seen a pay-per-view that was mostly advertising. The promotion was surrounding the main event. Usually when you see posters for UFC events, you mostly have the main event and co-main event, even a third main event advertised. But advertising for this pay-per-view focused more on Alistair Overeem and Brock Lesnar, a dream fight, which became overhyped, to say the least. And the match that stole the show was the co-main event that got barely promoted, Donald Cerrone versus Nate Diaz. So, and like I said, a little bit of a mixed bag pay-per-view tonight. Like I said, only two fights, going the distance in the two best fights of the night, which, like I said, were Nam Pham against Jimy Hettes. And the best fight of the night, definitely Diaz and Cerrone. in three of the 5, which ended in a first round knockout, which of course Alexander Gustafsson knocking out Vladimir Matyushenko in the first round. And also, Brock Lesnar getting knocked out by Alistair Overeem TKO in the first round of their main event bout. And, of course, Johny Hendricks probably winning knockout tonight, knocking the crap out of John Fitch in 12 seconds. Once again, 6.0 out of 10. Hopefully they can deliver again for UFC 142 on January 14th. That is it for my UFC 141 review. Comment below. What do you think about Lesnar? What do you think he's going to do next? Do you think he's going to come back to WWE or not? Do you think the match tonight between Lesnar and Overeem was overhyped? Comment your thoughts on the pay-per-view below. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. And with that in mind, I've been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you very much. And have a happy and safe New Year, everybody. Happy 2012. Yeah.